Hi and welcome back, Jin here. So today's going to be a little bit of a different type of video. I received a lot of questions regarding Mystic Messenger since posting both V's and Ray's route. So I want to try and answer some of the frequently asked ones. The top 3 questions I get all the time are: how do you get Ray's route? How do you get a lot of hourglasses? And how do you get the good ending? I want to answer each of these questions in depth, so they're each going to have their own designated video. So in today's video, which has also been requested, we're going to be answering the first question, which is how do you get Ray's route? So when you first start the game, you're going to have the option of 3 story modes. You're going to have casual story, deep story, and another story. Now in casual story, the characters you can play are Zen, Yusung, and Jae-hee. And in deep story, you've got 707 and Jimin. And then at last, what we're talking about today is another story. In another story, you can either play Ray or V. So unlocking another story costs 550 hourglass. And yes, you did hear that correctly. Because what the game is trying to do is it's trying to make you play all the other routes of the character several times in order to accumulate enough hourglasses to move on to another story. And also, I actually really recommend doing that as well, because in playing the other characters, you'll unlock special story components, which will help you to better understand another story. Now, if you just want to skip ahead into another story, you need to cough up 550 hourglasses somehow. I know it's expensive, but it's definitely worth it. So you can do that by playing the other characters, or you can just go ahead and purchase these hourglasses. So since you need 550 hourglasses to unlock another story, you're going to have to buy the 1000 hourglass bundle, which costs I think $24.99 or something like that. Well worth the investment in my opinion, because it's a quality game with very good content and even better character development. So after you've somehow acquired 550 hourglasses, you can go ahead and purchase another story. So like all the other story modes in Mystic Messenger, there's a common route which comprises of day 1 to 4, and then from day 5 onwards you can go and branch off into your designated characters. So between day 1 and 4 in another story, you'll be chatting with all the characters, but you'll want to primarily focus on getting hearts with the character that you want to branch off into. So if you want to go into V's route, make sure that you get lots of V hearts. And if you want to go into Ray's route, make sure that you get a lot of hearts with Ray. Now, if you don't know which answers to pick specifically, I've done a full playthrough, the full 11 days of both the V's and Ray's route. So I'll leave a link to the day 1 playlist of each of the characters down below. So I'll have Ray's route day 1 and V's route day 1. So if you follow along with my playthrough and you choose all the same answers, you'll be sure to get the character that you want, and you'll also be sure to get the good endings, because my answers do lead to the good endings. Although my good endings did unfortunately get taken down, but that's beside the point. So let's talk Ray. Ray is quite a peculiar character actually. He's a little bit difficult to understand. He hasn't had a very great childhood growing up, and his life now isn't any better. So some things to note about Ray while you're chatting with him to help you choose the answers better. Okay, Ray is quite sensitive and he needs constant confirmation that he's needed and wanted, which you will provide for him. Also, Ray does not like V at all. And another very important thing is that Ray hates 707. So, like I said before, when you're playing between days 1 and 4 and you're trying to romance Ray, so just choose the answers that Ray likes, you also need to be aware of a few other things. So number 1, do not get any hearts with V, because you might accidentally branch off into his route on day 4. And the second thing is that if you choose the wrong answers, I'll explain that in a minute, you'll end up getting the bad end in day 4 instead of progressing into Ray's route. So what do I mean by bad answers to get the bad ending? Alright, let's start from the very beginning. So in day 1 of another story, so the common route, Ray tells you that you're testing a game and you'll be chatting with AI. He not only tells you that, but he also specifically tells you, do not let the AIs know that you are a game tester, or let them know that they're not real. So when you're chatting with, Zen, Yusung, Jae-hee, and whatever, talk to them normally. Don't tell them that you know stuff that they don't know, and don't tell them that they're not real or that they're AIs, or that there's someone controlling them. That might get hearts with Ray, but not the ones that you want. So what you need to do is a basic summary of day 1 to 4 to get Ray. So play along with what he wants you to do. Be nice to him. And also, he also wants you to play this game to get secrets from the characters. So every time the characters mention something about like what they're doing or what they're looking into, try to pry information out of them. So ask for secrets, ask what they're doing, ask what they found out, things like that. That's basically what you have to do with the rest of the characters. So far we've got be nice to Ray, play along with you being a tester, pry information from the other characters, Do not get hearts with V because you might branch off into V's story by accident. And the last thing, which I think a lot of people don't actually notice affects the story, but it does. It's between days 1 and 4. You need to not get hearts with 707. Yes, that's right. That's the 5th thing right there. So Ray really hates 707. If you don't already know why, you will find out later on in the story. But anyway, throughout the duration of another story, Ray is monitoring the chat room. So he's reading everything that you're saying. And Ray does not want to see you getting along with 707 or getting hearts with him or, flirting with him or anything like that. So do not get hearts with 7 and do not get hearts with V. The other characters, you can say whatever you want to them. So they're the tips on which answers to pick when you're trying to pursue Ray and get his route. So I'll leave links in the description of my playthrough of Ray's and V's route in case you're not quite sure what to say in certain situations. So links below. But anyway, so aside from the answers, there's some more things that you need to do. So number 1 is participate in as many chat rooms as possible. Like everyone knows this, try to get at least about 70% participation per day and try to emphasize getting the chats with Ray. Then the second thing is if a character calls you, answer. That of course counts towards the participation for the day as well. And along with the phone calls, you'll be getting text messages from characters. So make sure that you answer those too and reply to them. Even if they're not from Ray, still counts as participation. So keeping those things in mind, I'll just give a brief summary again. When you start another story, you're going to be playing on a common route between days 1 and 4. You're going to spend days 1 to 4 romancing Ray. So to do that, you're going to be getting a lot of hearts with Ray. So telling him that you like him and that he's needed. You're not going to get hearts with V. You're not going to get hearts with 707. And the rest of the characters don't matter. You're also going to be answering the phone calls and replying to text messages. So basically, that's all you have to do to clear the day 4 branch and continue on with Ray's route. So technically speaking, Ray's route is actually between day 5 and day 11 of another story. Okay, this is dragging on a bit long, but I do hope I've explained everything properly. There is one final thing I really need to point out because a lot of people end up getting bad endings, but I'll explain this later on in my good ending video. Okay, and that important point is that sometimes you'll say an answer that, it seems like the character won't like it, and it seems like a very bad answer, like that you're domineering or whatever. And then you'll get a heart with that character. Now, not all hearts are equal in Mystic Messenger, and this is where it becomes complicated. I'll explain this further in my good ending video. But anyways, if you sit there and boss around Ray and tell him that he shouldn't think for himself and that you should think for him, you'll also get some hearts with him. Now, although you see heart and you're thinking, oh, I'm on the right track, you are not. Because I like to call these negative hearts. I'll actually explain this in the good ending video. But basically, just do all the steps I've listed in this video now. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and if you found it helpful. Subscribe for more and good luck on acquiring 550 hourglasses and playing Racer. All the best, and if you ever get stuck, just look through my playthroughs, which will be linked in the description box below, and just follow my answers accordingly. But anyways, if you've got any more questions, please leave them down below in the comment section. I'll be reading all of them and trying to answer them. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. But until then, bye for now.